Chair Rogner, Vice Chair Gavarone, Ranking Member Blackshear, and members of the committee. My name is Diane, Ohio Senate District 4. I'm a volunteer with Convention of States Action and seek your support of SJR 3. This 2,000-page annotated constitution is the legal authority for the federal government and the court system. This contains the original Constitution, the 27 amendments, plus 230 years of Supreme Court rulings and how those interpretations affect the original meaning of the Constitution. Worried about touching our precious Constitution with a state convention? Every time the Supreme Court rules on matters of constitutionality, this interpreted U.S. Constitution grows bigger. Considering this and the current state of affairs in Washington, we have problems that career politicians in D.C. are not going to fix. So we need to look no further than the nation's bylaws, our U.S. Constitution, and Article 5 is still buried in here. Can you imagine playing a role in the proposal and the adoption of any one of these amendments? Restore the original meaning of the Commerce and General Welfare Clauses, limit federal legislation to single subject, permanently set the Supreme Court to 9 judges. At some point, members of Congress, they'll need to consider legislation to support the efforts of DOJ. But will they? The states can propose an amendment to permanently limit dead weight in the federal bureaucracy. If the next presidential administration is less committed to the effort, the bloated bureaucracy and the spending will return unless you codify a process to address it. SJR 3 is straightforward, 4 pages. It's simply an application to Congress for a state amending convention, no more and no less. Please remain focused on the resolution verbiage without the distraction of a few noisy detractors. No, we are not asking to open up or rewrite the Constitution. Nobody ever says that when Congress proposes amendments, and they do it 50 times a year. We do not seek a constitutional convention for rewriting a new constitution. That's preposterous. We're asking for an opportunity for the states, like Congress, to write amendments. The passage of SJR 3 is far too important to allow its meaning to be overshadowed by our opponents' doomsday language designed to impart fear. Our detractors also resort to ad hominem attacks to discredit the reputations of our leadership, our grassroots, and those of our nation's founders. These attacks are fallacies that exemplify bad reasoning. Our opponents use hyperbolic language such as con to describe the convention that we seek. Such juvenile terminology lacks the validity and the sophistication deserving of a provision found in the Constitution. The denigration also detracts from healthy debate. Trust me when I tell you, if you yourself required legal counsel in the highest court, you would choose our premier, nationally known constitutional attorneys over the advisors of our opponents, who are nothing more than hobbyists. The Constitutional Convention of 1787 did not run away. Our founders acted in accordance with instructions from their respective states. The president of the Constitutional Convention was George Washington, the most trusted, honest leader of the age. Our opponents fail to mention that our founders unanimously adopted the state amending portion of Article 5, and that when ratified, amendments can become part of this Constitution, not a new one. The state amending process operates within the framework of the Constitution. We can use the Constitution to save the Constitution, but it contains no provision for destroying itself. Please consider the U.S. Congress is right now a permanent Article 5 convention. Congress can propose amendments on any subject any day of the week. It's hard to imagine the states being more irresponsible than Congress. Yet, there is no running away or dangerous near miss with crazy amendments coming out of Congress. Why not? Congress is constrained, as are the states, by the political realities of ratification. 38 states must pass any proposed amendment. Since 1789, there have been nearly 12,000 proposed amendments to the Constitution. Like I said, that's about 50 a year. Of these, only 33 have been sent to the states and 27 ratified, the ones supported by the citizens. There were people who feared the founders' Declaration of Independence from Britain. The founders bravely forged ahead anyway. There were people who opposed the abolition of slavery. Lincoln had the courage to do it anyway. An amending Convention of States is a safety feature packed into our Constitution by our founders for this very moment in history. The commitment you made to uphold the Constitution includes an Article 5 convention for proposing amendments. So long as Congress refuses to act, it is the duty of state legislatures to utilize this tool and not deny it.